Hey friend, and welcome to the first lesson of Instant Lithuanian. So in this course, we're going to learn a bunch of Lithuanian words that are actually have the same origin, the same root, or they're pronounced similarly in English language and in Lithuanian language. And the idea is that together with automatic Lithuanian method, where basically you see a sentence in English language and then you try to say it in Lithuanian, while little by little adding new words. This is the way you're going to learn Lithuanian effortlessly at home. You can practice it. The only thing that I ask of you is that you always think out the answer. Like you're almost never going to be asked something that hasn't already been said. So all you have to do is, combine various different phrases and make them into sentences, okay? Whenever there's a new word, I will prompt you to it. So just all you have to do is relax, just lean into the process, lean into the method, and you're going to start speaking Lithuanian in no time, okay? So this particular lesson is going to be a warm-up lesson. So basically, we're going to add some new words to you. We're going to introduce some basic grammar, while doing this all through practice, okay? So let's just immediately jump in to the first phrase, which is I am. I am. And I am in Lithuanian language would be aš esu. Aš esu, right? Aš esu. I am, aš esu. Student, a student, right? Could be either studentas if it's a masculine word, right? Or studente if it's a female. So a student would be studentas, studente. So there. You already know one of the words in Lithuanian language because you know the word student, and that's the whole purpose of this course, the way we're going to learn here, okay? You're going to learn to use words that are everyday words, but they're also the same words in Lithuanian language, and you're going to learn a bunch of other words along the way, okay? Now, I am a student. Let's say you're a male or a female, doesn't matter. Say whichever version you want to. Say, I am a student. Aš esu studentas or aš esu studentė. Now, you can omit the verb to be in present tense in affirmative sentences. Even in questions, you can omit it. So basically, you could just say aš studentas or aš studentė, and that would be I am a student as well. You don't have to say am version, right? Aš esu. By the way, notice that usually the same parts of the sentence are going to be colored in the same colors in English version and in Lithuanian sentences so that you know which parts of sentences are where, and you're going to just pick that along the way. The patterns of the sentences are also going to become much clearer for you, okay, once we go on. You are, so I am was aš esu, you are, tu esi, tu esi, tu esi. So now, you are a student, tu esi studentas or studentė. Again, you can omit esi over here. You can say tu studentas and tu studentė. You can do that. By the way, if you feel that you need to take a bit of time once we go into the phrase, once I say how would you say, just press pause. Think out the answer. Always think out the answer, even especially in the later lessons when we go into more, complex, longer sentences with the various phrases and words that you already know. I just want you to think out those answers. Don't rush them. You've got plenty of time. You can repeat the lessons however many times you want to. Just take your time. It's going to be much better for you to just think out the answer and just help your brain learn or rather get used to thinking in Lithuanian language. Okay? A tourist would be turistas, or, of course, if it's a female version, that would be turistė, turistė. I am a tourist. How would you say I am a tourist? Aš turistas, or aš esu turistas. Both of these versions are perfectly fine, right? Aš turistas, aš esu turistas. Or if you're a female, aš turistė, aš esu turistė. No or not is ne. So depending on what kind of sentence you're using, either for no or for not, still the same word ne. Now, I'm a tourist, not a student. And it's a male that's saying this. I'm a tourist, not a student. I'm a tourist, not a student. Aš turistas, ne studentas, right? Or aš esu turistas, ne studentas. Aš esu turistas, ne studentas. Aš esu turistas, ne studentas. Now, good, the word for good, is geras or gera. Geras, gera. Geras, gera. Good, right? Geras, gera. So, a good student, if it's a female, right? So that's gera, right? A good student would be gera studente. Gera studente, right? Gera studente. A good student, gera studente. I like would be man patinka or aš mėgstu. Man patinka, aš mėgstu. Man patinka, aš mėgstu. So there's sort of like two ways of saying that. Aš mėgstu is basically saying I like. Man patinka, so you're saying to me there is a liking, sort of like, so something does the liking to me. There's sort of like inverted way of saying that. We have it in other languages. In Spanish, it's like saying me gusta. I think it's very similar to what we're doing here in Lithuanian language. Both of these are okay to use. We use a bit different cases when we go with them, but that's completely fine. So I like, man patinka, or aš mėgstu. I like music. I like music. Man patinka muzika. Now, I would suggest you, for now, use man patinka version because it's very easy to use a noun after that, because after that you use the noun in the basic form. You don't have to change the case for it. Lithuanian language has a case system, so basically the noun changes depending on the situation it's put in, like whether it's an object of the sentence or a subject of the sentence. And it's easier, of course, the subject version than the nominative case. It's the easiest, and therefore after man patinka, the noun is used in nominative case because it's actually the subject over here. So it's like it's the muzika that's doing the action of patikti to me, right? It's a weird way to phrase it, but that's the way we do it in Lithuanian if we go the man patinka route. So I like music, man patinka muzika. Man patinka muzika. Man patinka muzika. I like good music. So muzika, music is a feminine noun. So now you have to pair the version of good, the female version of good, with the feminine noun, which is music, right? So adjectives and nouns always correspond together in gender. They go together, right? So I like good music would be man patinka gera muzika, right? Man patinka gera muzika. Man patinka gera muzika. Now, I am a musician. I am a musician. If you still don't know the word, that would be aš esu muzikantas or muzikante. Aš esu muzikantas, that's a masculine version, or aš esu muzikante, that's a female version. I'm a musician. Aš esu muzikantas, muzikante. Aš esu muzikantas, muzikante. A joke or anecdote, right? It's anekdotas. So there is a different word for joke, like you could say juokelis with the prefix L, juokelis, which means basically like small, tiny joke. But anekdotas is a very common word to use. Like it's like anekdotas is something like a pre-written joke already, right? Something that has a structure in it, especially. So a joke would be anekdotas. Tell me would be papasakok. Papasakok or pasakyk, right? If we go into imperative form, right? Just like you're telling somebody to do something. So tell me would be papasakok. Papasakok or pasakyk. In this case, papasakok is almost like tell me a story. Papasakok. Okay? Papasakok. We're not going to go too much into grammar. We're just going through various phrases which are going to be reiterated throughout the 20 lessons. So tell me would be papasakok. Now, academy is academia. 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 So now, to study, again, would be studijuoti. Like a student, studentas. So to study, studijuoti. By the way, a student in English language can be both in school or in university, studentas, it's only in university in Lithuanian language. So to study, also, it's only in university, right? In school would be mokytis because it's mokinys. It's a different kind of word. So to study would be studijuoti. 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 So now I study, aš studijuoju. We have a u ending. Aš studijuoju. Aš studijuoju. Don't try to memorize that. Don't write that down. The patterns are going to come up. I will explain things later on. For now, we're just warming up. We're having some phrases, okay? Don't worry about it. I study. Aš studijuoju. Aš studijuoju. Aš studijuoju. I study at the academy. Now, the academy over here is going to go into locative case because there's a specific case for a noun if we're talking about a location, right? Like a place. So I study at the academy. Aš studijuoju akademijoje. Aš studijuoju akademijoje. Now, the locative case is almost always going to end in e. Akademijoje. That's not e. That's not American or English e. That's e. Akademijoje. Akademijoje. Aš studijuoju akademijoje. Aš studijuoju akademijoje. Army. Armija. 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 So in the army, the same way as in the academy, would be armijoje, right? Like akademijoje, armijoje, armijoje, armijoje. He is, jis yra. Jis yra, right? Jis yra. So now he is in the army. He is in the army. Remember, you can omit the verb to be if you want to, because it's affirmative sentence. He is in the army. Jis armijoje. Or if I want to, I can add yra and can say jis yra armijoje. He is in the army. Jis yra armijoje. Jis yra armijoje. Jis yra armijoje. Now, to have is turėti. Turėti. So infinitive verbs in Lithuanian language end in ti. The infinitive form is ti. So remember, like tu, ti, tu, ti. In English, you have tu, and it's in front of the word, a specific or like a word that you have in front, right? In Lithuanian language is the ending ti. Turėti. Turėti, right? So now aš turiu is I have, right? Aš turiu. Aš turiu is I have. I have. Aš turiu. Apartment is butas or apartamentai. Apartamentai. It's like plural apartments. Apartamentai. Now, it's a bit different. Like it would be understood if you used apartamentai. That's why I'm putting it here, right? It would be understood that you're talking about an apartment, about a flat. But apartamento usually means like a bigger flat a little bit, right? Like a sort of like something a bit more luxurious. But not always, that's not always the case. You could say apartamento even on a smaller flat, it would still be understood. It's better to say this than to say nothing and not be understood, okay? So apartment, butas, like a flat, or apartamenti, that's plural word. So I have an apartment is aš turiu apartamentus or aš turiu butą. Now you can see the word butas apartamentai has as and I endings, right? And I have an apartment is apartamentus and buta, even nasal A at the end. Now what changes here, because you see, I told you that nouns have cases in them, and depending on whether or not they're a subject, if it's a location, or if they're an object of the sentence, the case may change, right? And since over here, if you say I have, and then you say the object that you have, right? So that's even grammatically, the thing that you say that you have becomes a direct object in the sentence, right? And if it's affirmative sentence, it's usually going to take accusative case, right? It's accusative case. Aš turiu apartamentus, aš turiu butą. I have an apartment, aš turiu apartamentus, aš turiu butą. Active, aktyvus, aktyvi. So those are adjectives, right? Aktyvus masculine, aktyvi feminine. Active, aktyvus, aktyvi. Aktyvus, aktyvi. So now a person is žmogus, like a human, like a person, or persona. Persona usually doesn't mean exactly a person, it means like it's sort of like a more formal word to say a person, right? Persona, especially like it emphasizes that person, right? If I say the word persona instead of just a person, but again, it's like a get out of jail card free word, right? That you can use and it would be understood. But again, a good word to remember is also žmogus, right? So as I said, I'm going to give you a bunch of words that have the same roots, but some other ones that as well are useful in everyday words. So this is like a whole complete course. We're not just going to run through the words, with the known roots. I want to give you something that's useful, something that you can incorporate in your everyday language. So therefore, a person is either žmogus or persona. 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 I'm an active person. I'm an active person. You could say that, right? Aš aktyvus žmogus or aš aktyvi persona, because persona is a feminine noun. Žmogus is a masculine noun. And it doesn't matter if you're male or female, you can use both, right? Because it's not about your gender, it's about the gender of the noun. Yes, nouns have genders in Lithuanian language, right? As a lot of other languages do as well. But yeah, in Lithuanian language we do have that as well. I'm an active person, aš aktyvus žmogus, or aš aktyvi persona. Aš aktyvus žmogus, or aš aktyvi persona. Agent, agentas, agentė. Agentas, agentė. Agentas, agentė. He's a good agent, male. Right? He's a good agent. You know the words. How would you phrase them? Jis geras agentas, or jis yra geras agentas if I want to add yra, if I want to add the verb to be. But I can omit it because it's an affirmative sentence in present tense. He's a good agent, jis geras agentas, jis geras agentas, jis geras agentas. Alternative, another good word, is alternativa. It's a feminine noun. Alternativa. Alternative. Alternativa. Alternativa. So now other is kitas or kita. Kitas masculine, kita feminine. Kitas, kita. Kitas, kita. By the way, this one can also mean next. Okay, kitas, kita. So I have other alternatives. I have other alternatives. Remember, I have. Aš turiu kitų alternatyvų. Those are other endings for accusative case, right? Because it's a direct object after aš turiu, right? If you said aš turiu kitos alternatyvos in plural, that would be fine, would be understood definitely. Just I'm giving you the correct version to say that. There's a bunch of moving parts in Lithuanian language. There are cases, there are endings, especially if you're coming from an English language background, if your native language is English, all of these endings for for various persons in tenses, and all specific endings for nouns, it could be a lot. So basically conjugation and declensions, they can be a lot, but we will work through them. And over here, we're going to work through them with practice, okay? Only with practice. Allergy is alergia. 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 So I have or I don't have. I have or I don't have is aš turiu, or you just add ne at the front and say aš neturiu. Aš turiu, aš neturiu. Aš turiu, aš neturiu. That's one of the things that's actually it's easier in Lithuanian language to make a negative. You don't have to add tons, dozens, and so forth. Aš turiu, aš neturiu. Aš turiu, aš neturiu. I don't have allergies. I don't have allergies. This is plural. And again, now when you have a negative sentence in its direct object, it's going to go into, usually it's going to go into genitive case. Not accusative, genitive. So I don't have allergies. Aš neturiu alergijų. Aš neturiu alergijų. Aš neturiu alergijų. To drink is gerti. 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 So now, I don't drink alcohol. I don't drink alcohol. I don't drink alcohol is aš negeriu alkoholio. Aš negeriu alkoholio, right? Aš negeriu alkoholio. Again, negative, alkoholio is in genitive case. Aš negeriu alkoholio. Ambition is ambicija. Ambicija. So I don't have allergies and I don't have ambitions, right? I don't have allergies and I don't have ambitions. Aš neturiu alergijų, and in the same way, aš neturiu ambicijų, right? Aš neturiu ambicijų. I know those are weird sentences. We're going to have a bunch of these weird sentences. But the thing is, they tend to stick into your mind. It's easier to remember the words then. And it doesn't matter what kind of sentences we form. They don't have to make a lot of sense. They don't have to make a story. I just want you to practice. I just want you to, to form these sentences, right? And by now, we have learned a little bit of words that we can, move into the next lesson. The next lesson is going to be about professions, about people, and various words that come up with that. And this is sort of like was a warm-up lesson. We had very little these, I would call them international words, something that comes up in either Lithuanian language, English language, or a bunch of other languages as well. But the important thing is that you practice and that you create these sentences. So now I will see you in the second lesson. Don't worry. We're going to get going. It's going to become, at the same time, easier and harder the further we go into the course, right? So it's going to get harder because we're going to have longer sentences. But by then we'll have learned some of the interesting words that are used every day. Don't worry don't be afraid to repeat the lessons, okay? Like if you feel that I wasn't able to answer any of the sentences, just watch the lesson one more time. And again, don't watch it. Just try to answer these sentences. Try to automatize these answers for yourself, okay? Because that's the whole point. Just the whole point of automatic Lithuanian method is to just get automatic with your sentences, with your thinking out loud. And this practice especially helps you do that, okay? So thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next lesson. Bye.